Knock, knock, knock. Hey. Hey, John. This is Doug from American Income Life. How's it going? We have an appointment about the card you mailed in yesterday. Um, is your wife home? Oh, it's just because these benefits apply to her too. Uh, this won't take long. Why don't we have a seat at the kitchen table? I just got to fill out this certificate for you. Uh, so, John, are you from the area? The Walpole area? Oh, okay. You grew up here? Yeah. Oh, okay. I grew up not here, but right down the street in Westwood too. So, it's a nice town. How do you like Walpole? Yeah. Yeah. It's a nice neighborhood, nice area. There's a blue jay that lives at my house, and he's friends with a cardinal, so I see him every day pretty much. What about you, Mary? Oh, okay. You grew up not too far? Oh, Mansfield, okay. Yeah, not too far at all. All right. So, John, how long have you been in the union? Oh, okay. About 5 years? All right. And what kind of job are you currently on? Oh, okay. Iron worker. Oh, okay. That's a hard profession. Hard work. Yeah. Um, and so through the union, do you go to any of those meetings? Read the newsletters? Oh, no? Okay. Well, I'm here for three reasons. First is to go over your certificate of coverage. Two, to go over your health services discount card. And the third and primary reason why I'm here is to go over your family care plan. Um, and so, yeah. And so what we in your union, our company and your union, we've recognized some serious gaps in the coverage of the union worker. For instance, if you were to get downsized, laid off, quit, become disabled, but most importantly, retire, what happens to your benefits? Exactly. You lose all, if not most of your most, if not all of your coverage. I'm sorry. Yeah. And unfortunately, this has been a big problem for many of the union families we work with. So what we've done is, so our company's worked with your union, the Iron Workers 7. Yeah. So we put together a program to ensure that your family is always covered and protected. Have you heard about that? Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do is play a quick video that explains, why your organization chose to work with our company. Click. Click. So do you know who Richard Trumka is? Exactly, yeah. He's the current president of the AFL-CIO. Here he is publicly thanking our company for the work we do with union families. Click. So now that you know a little more about why your organization chose to work with us, I'm just going to show you the next video that explains a little more about our company's culture, why we're here. Click. So as you can see from the video, our company believes if we're going to be working in a community, we got to constantly be giving back to the community. So one of the ways we do this is by offering, employment opportunities to anyone you know, friends, family, co-workers, I don't know. But anyone you know that you think could benefit from an opportunity like this. So who's someone you know that could use an employment change or a fresh start or something like this? Okay. Now, is that your brother, Mark? Mark's your brother. Oh, okay, okay. So let's get him down. So I'll send his name and number and information to my manager, right? And he'll just contact him. You know, I can't offer him a job. I can't promise that, but you know, we'll reach out to him, see if he's a good fit. We've got opportunities, and we'd like to give back to the community. Um, so also, as you saw from the video, we do run food banks at every single office. So, you know, I need to ask you to just, if you have any non-perishables that you'd like that you could donate, you know, to the food bank, help out the community, we'd greatly appreciate that. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, could you please go run and get that right now? I'm gonna forget later, you know. Okay, great. Thank you, thank you. All right, cool. Um, so, the first part of your program is the AD&D benefit, accidental death and dismemberment. So I'm just gonna play you a short video about how this works. All right. Now what I'm going to do is play you a short video explaining how your health services discount card works. These work together with your current benefits, so it's just addition. Click. Yeah, so the health services discount card is great. I see that you wear glasses. You know, I do too. I should take advantage of this myself. I just gotta, anyways. So with the health services discount card, you can actually get up to 60% off retail glasses at certain retails. And you know, if you activate the benefit, you can look up exactly where and what type of discounts you can get. In addition to that, they also offer like 10 to 30% off eye exams. You know, that's great. That's great. Those are expensive. Yeah, and these just work with whatever benefits you have, so it's on top of that. Now what I'm going to do is show you the next part of your program, which is the Child Safe Kit. Now I see you have two beautiful children over there. What are their names? Okay, Mary and Joseph. Mary Jr. Okay, well, what beautiful kids. Anyways, I'm just going to show you the video on how the Child Safe works. Click. So as you can see from the video, you know, this is going to be your Child Safe ID kit. And just make sure you fill that out. Keep it in a safe place that's easy to find, always nearby. You can also download the Child Safe app. I don't have it myself. I don't have kids, but you know, with the Child Safe app, you can always have that information on your person at all times. Now I know, like, not everyone brings the Child Safe ID like packet physically around with them everywhere, you know, and it also contains sensitive information, but you need to make sure you have that on hand at all times. With the Child Safe ID kit, you know, you fill out all their information, and you all have it in there. You also roll their fingerprint, make sure you have that, and in addition to that, you have you need to put, you know, updated photographs every 6 months, you know, a year at the most, but make sure you have the most up-to-date photograph of what your kid looks like, you know, in the packet. So the way it works is, you know, God forbid, in the case of like an abduction or a missing child, the police, they're gonna come here and try to get this information that you would already have with this kit, and that could take anywhere between 1 and 2 hours. You know, the search radius for a missing child increases like 60 miles every hour that goes by. So this is just a very proactive thing to do, and it'll just help you out in case of an emergency. Again, it's just better to have and not need than need and not have. Anyways, so right now, as you saw from the video, one of the largest unions we work with is the International Union of Police Associations, and we're on a mission right now to get these child safe kits out there into the hands of as many families in Walpole as possible. It's just impossible to go around and hand these out and get them to everybody. So we just ask that if there's anyone with a child and they could see the value in having something like this, something proactive, something that could potentially save their child's life, we'd love to have the privilege of getting them down for this benefit. We'd love to have the privilege of protecting their family. So who's someone with a kid? Okay. And now is Sylvia your cousin? Oh, okay, she's your in-law. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's get her down for that ASAP. All right. Now, I'm just going to play you a short video that goes over the general sponsorship program, explains how it works. Click. So as you saw from the video, we're trying to extend these no-cost benefits to anyone friends, family, co-workers, anyone who could benefit and see the value in having the AD&D benefit. Now with a gift like this, it's a no-cost benefit. You can give it to whoever you want. So you can either distribute $2,000 in AD&D benefit at no cost to them to up to 10 people that you know. Or you can extend $4,000 in AD&D coverage to 5 people that you know. So who's someone that could see the value in having this, who could really benefit from this? Oh, okay. Mark? Now is that your brother, John? Oh, he's your brother. Okay, cool. Now, and he's got, what is he? A worker? A union worker? What's he do for? Okay. Oh, definitely. He needs this coverage, yeah. So I'll sign him up, get him down for this ASAP. All right. Who's the next person that comes to mind? Okay. All right, that's all for now. Okay, sure, no problem. All right. Now, John, what I'm gonna do now is, so let me explain. The reason why we meet with each union family is that every member's needs are different, meaning that the family I saw before you is going to have a whole different set of needs than you, and the family I see after is going to be different as well, different set of needs. So, that's just the reason why we go over each family individually. Now what I'm going to do is just show you a video showing that the different reasons why people obtain coverage throughout their life. Click. Okay. So, every member needs 2 things to qualify for the coverage that we offer. Yes, it is life insurance. Yeah. Well, look, we give you these no-cost benefits free of charge. That's something people need, and we're just here to offer to show you the importance of life insurance. Okay, so every member just needs 2 things to qualify for coverage. One being that you are a union member or referred by one. You are a union member, so you're good on that. 2, we just need to make sure that you're in fairly good health. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions pertaining to your health. Okay. So do you smoke? Oh, you're a smoker, okay. Any cardiovascular disease? No, okay. And what's your spouse's monthly take-home pay? Okay, $1,500. All right, and what's your monthly take-home pay, John? $2,500. Okay. All right. And what type of life insurance do you currently have through work? How much? I'm sorry. How much? Oh, okay, $15,000 through work. All right, you, Mary? None? Okay. Now, is that because they don't offer it, or did you just opt out of that? Oh, they don't offer it. Okay. So, just as a reminder, that's a policy that your work owns and controls. So, if you were to get a different job, quit, become disabled, fired, and again, retire, your benefits are lost. So the important life insurance is the life insurance that you own and control outside of work. So John, how much life insurance do you own outside of work? Oh, okay, a $50,000 policy. All right. Now, is that whole or term? Oh, it's whole. Okay. Whole. And you, Mary? None? Okay. So, all right. And do you rent or own? Okay. You own. Okay. You own the house. Oh, that's great. That's great. Good. Congratulations. That's, I hear about mortgages and what it's an accomplishment to own a home these days. Congrats. Okay. So now, John, if you were to die today, how would Mary and the kids need to use that money? Yeah, final expenses and all that. Okay. And, okay, I'm just writing that. And what do your monthly expenses for the household look like? So utilities, you'd say 800. Okay. Car loans, car insurance. Oh, you own your car. Great. That's great. How much do you pay in car insurance a month? Okay. About $150. Okay. All right. What about groceries? About $150 a week, $600 a month. Okay. All right. And let's see. Let me ask you, what are your miscellaneous expenses? Stuff that you don't plan on buying, and just end up purchasing just on a whim. Okay. So on the weekly, about $100. So 400 miscellaneous. All right. All right. And do you have a separate life insurance policy or any savings in place to take care of final expenses? No? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit, John. Looking at your monthly expenses, 1,400, 19, let me see my math, 1,400, 1,800, 1,950 in monthly expenses. So if your whole life policy did pay out, when that were to pay out, Mary and the kids would be able to live their current lifestyle without making any changes for, let's see, about, yeah, right about, let me see the math, okay. Yeah, for 2 years, they would be able to continue their current lifestyle without making any changes for 2 years. Um, so, do you have any money saved up for after that policy runs out for the 50,000? No? Any reason for that? Okay, okay. So now moving on. So, do you have a separate life insurance policy that would cover final expenses? Okay. All right. Any reason for that? Okay. And do you bank locally with a checking or savings account? Checking, okay. All right. Now what we're going to do now is examine the need for final expense coverage. So I'm just going to play a short video that explains. Click. So, John, this is the freedom of choice. And so in the case that, you know, you did die, Mary would just bring the freedom of choice to the funeral home. She would fill out the back, show it to the funeral director, and, you know, they would just call up my company, make sure the policy is active in place and everything, and we would verify that that we do have the amount to cover the funeral. They wouldn't know how much you have in coverage. We would never tell them that. So you would negotiate beforehand. You know, this just prevents them potentially taking advantage of you on the worst day of your life emotionally. So what we recommend for all of your union members to have in coverage, in final expense coverage, is $30,000. Do you remember why? Right. It's never gonna cost you less than $30,000 to bury you. Why is that? Oh, well, today funerals cost 15 grand. In 20 years, they're projected to cost 30 grand, $30,000. So, you know, you're not expected to die anytime soon. You're a healthy, you know, 40-year-old man. We don't expect that. So we just want to make sure you have the proper coverage in place to cover your funeral when you're expected to die. Yes, and that's, you know, at least 30,000. Okay. So right now, you have $0 in existing coverage. So there is a need for 30,000. That's the amount we're going to cover you for today. So John, Mary, you know, on the worst day, Mary, on the worst day of your life emotionally, if John were to die today, all you would have to do is bring him the freedom of choice, you know, bring it to the funeral director. All he does is call, everything, you know, everything's in place, everything's set up for you. And you know, we'd have you covered immediately. We'd be there for you to take care of that financial obligation on the hardest day of your life. Now, have you ever been financially involved in a funeral? You have? Okay. And when did the funeral directors request payment? Yeah, immediately, yeah. And do you know how long it takes for the typical life insurance policy to pay out? Anywhere between 1 and 6 months. Now, do you see the gap in coverage? You know, yeah, exactly. So between the time that you would need this expense to be covered and the time it would take to Exactly, exactly. So, you know, we'd be there to cover that gap and make sure you'd be protected. Um, so, does that make sense? Okay, good. And do you see the need for the final expense to be covered? Okay. Now we're going to go over your income protection. Click. I'm just going to play you a short video. Click. So what we recommend for each of our union members is to have nothing less than 5 years of your annual income in coverage. Now, do you know why that is? Exactly. It's so when someone dies, their income dies with them, and it typically takes the remaining family members 5 years to recover financially, let alone emotionally. So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So right now, you have, let's see, 50,000 in coverage. So there is a need for uh, so there's a need for $100,000 in coverage, and that is the amount we're going to cover you for today. So, John, when you die, when we have you covered, Mary would have this money to take care of everything. You know, this would give her time to adjust. This would give her time to mourn and not worry about, you know, how am I going to feed the kids? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to do this? That wouldn't even be an issue. We'd have you covered. You'd be okay. And we'd be there for you so you could get back on your feet and continue through this. You know. Does that make sense? And do you see the need for that? Okay. Now you own your home, so we're not going to go over mortgage protection. You have that covered. Okay. So John, we're just going to just to recap, John and Mary. Just to recap, what we're doing for you today is covering your final expenses, and we're also protecting your income. This also includes the children's rider, so both of your kids, Joseph and Luke, they'll have, my apologies, Mary Jr., Joseph and Mary Jr. They're both covered for $10,000. Doesn't matter how many kids you have. They'll be covered for $10,000 each until their 21st birthday. When they turn 21, they'll be able to convert that to a $50,000 policy. No questions asked. You know, guaranteed to be insured. No medical questions. And that would give them a nice head start to being insured in life. So this also includes the terminal illness rider. So in the case of John, you know, if he were to be diagnosed with a terminal illness, in the state of Massachusetts, it's 2 years or less to live. In other states, it's 1 or less, but we're in Massachusetts, we're okay. So if you were given 2 years or less to live, you would be able to withdraw up to half the policy's face amount. So up to $75,000 to do whatever you like with that. So you could, I don't know, go to Italy. You could make some memories, go on vacation, take everyone with you. If there's something you always wanted to do, you would have that freedom to do so. Yeah. Now this also includes the layoff waiver. So if your union were to lay you off, your premium would be waived for up to 3 months to help you, just to help you look for a job just to help you out while you do that. Yeah, yeah, the premiums are just waived. Those 3 months. Yeah, and your policy still yeah, yeah, and this also includes the strike waiver. So if your union were ever to go on strike, we would, yeah, an organized strike, yeah, by the union, yep. Yeah, and so if your union were to ever go on strike, we would waive the policy premium for up to 12 months to help you out in your time of need. Okay. So, being that everything makes sense, being that you said everything makes sense, and you see the need for this, oh, I'm sorry. Now, John Mary, this is your mandatory read-off letter. So what this is simply stating is that these needs are offered on a voluntary basis. And so that if you see the need for it and it makes sense to you, we're going to get you covered today. On the other hand, if not, all we do is simply fill out this union officer report form and get that mailed back to your union, just so they can get feedback on the benefits. Either way, we need you to make a decision today. And yeah, because it's nearly impossible to go back out there and see every single union member a second time after already going over the plan. We have a lot of union members out there, so this is just, yeah, it is, yeah, we can hardly get back out there and just, see the same people twice. It's very difficult. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, just to recap, what we're doing for you today is covering your final expense. We're protecting your income. And this also includes the children's rider, the terminal illness rider, the layoff waiver, and the strike waiver. Okay? So being that you said everything makes sense and you see the need for that, is this comfortable for you? To make sure that your family is always covered and protected? Okay, okay, yeah, no problem. No, I understand how you feel. In fact, a few other union members have felt the same way. And what we found when we worked together, seeing that the program made sense and there's the need for it, it was usually just the perspective on how the plan actually works. Let me explain. So we covered your needs and go over and end of presentation.